Yo, have you ever played Fire Harbor, the DLC for Fallout 4?
What are you looking at?
Those feral ghouls
Are you talking to me? Are you fucking talking to me? Your brother stole my fucking suit! Motherfucker! Certainly a DLC I was not expecting, but okay. And I still remember back in time when it released, I knew nothing about it. And I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't a time where I was really in the mood for some Fallout. So it took me 3 years to actually play it. And the only thing I can remember is me getting the ending where you completely blast the Children of Adam's base. And it was not the ending I wanted to achieve. But I could not reload because my save files corrupted somehow. And well, I guess that's just life, right? But since I went straight back to the Fallout series recently, part of that you probably know why, I decided to replay the DLC, but now as a person who enjoy much more storytelling, because really at that time I was more of a gameplay guy, so I couldn't really create an opinion about the whole DLC. And I'm gonna tell you, it actually went better than I expected. Like the video, subscribe to help the boy here, please. Well, everything starts with the quest line Far From Home, where you have to basically talk to Nick Valentine's assistant, Ellie, who I have a deep passion for in this game. Like, I really wanted to just date Ellie instead of Piper or Katie. But since that's not possible, and trust me when I say it's not possible because I already searched every single mod in an attempt to find one that gives me the option, all I can do is just dream about it. Anyway, and by talking to Ellie, she gives a case of a family who live at the edge of Commonwealth, and all of a sudden their daughter went missing. So you as a detective have to go to their house to start an investigation. And on my case, I brought with me Nick Valentine and Dogmeat. Yes, I'm basically using the mod where you can have Dogmeat and another companion together. And just to make it clear, on this campaign, I went straight to the big guns build since I never played with it. And there's a specific reason of why I wanted to go for this build. And as you can probably notice, I'm using the new Enclave Power Armor, which came alongside the next gen update. And also, if you asked about the ammo and the cap, I got it from the duplication glitch. So no more question about it, let's continue this mission. The house is basically located on the outside of the map, from which I had a big problem finding the path to it, because I don't know, I guess I'm just dumb for this shit. And I'm pretty sure that the first time I played the DLC, I also had a problem of finding the path. Well, after finally finding the path, I get to the house, and there we meet the Nakano's family. By dialogue with both the parents, we can notice that each of them have a totally different conception about their daughter. For example, the father is extremely strict and do not allow the daughter to even leave the area of their house. And although the mother also being strict, she thinks that her daughter needs to live her life. So by asking both of them about why did they think that the daughter went missing, the father thinks she was kidnapped and the mother thinks she basically left on her own. Also, they tell us that the daughter had a radio which she was obsessed with, always trying to fix it and trying to get communication with outsiders. So here I start my investigation. By searching for some clues in the house, we can find a bunch of holotapes recorded by the daughter, and most of them are based on the girl telling her passion about fixing things. So nothing really important except for one holotape of her describing a dream where she was in a white room with a bunch of people staring at her.
Project log, dreams. Recording what I can remember when I wake up. I keep having the same one. I'm in a white room. People are talking about me like I'm not there, or maybe they just don't care. And then there's this, I don't know, jolt, like a spark of electricity to the back of my head, and then everyone turns to look at me. God, I hope I don't have it again tonight.
So right at the moment that I heard this holotape, I was completely sure that the girl was abducted by gray aliens. So I went straight to the father and told him the bad news, which unfortunately led me to nothing. I still had to search for more clues. Either way, I spent a great amount of time trying to look for clues inside of the house until I looked through one of the windows and noticed a shed in the outside of the house. So by going there, I clearly see an unusual picture. I mean, every single item in Fallout is either rusted or destroyed. So when you see a perfectly intact picture frame like this, I mean, you're gonna doubt about it. So by interacting with it, I found the key, and now I just needed to find what the key was supposed to open. Well, it was not so hard to find a safe on the hanger, and by opening the safe, one last holotape is found.
Project log? Myself. I never really thought about who or what I am, but God, where do I start? The radio. I was right about the range. I managed to get a signal, a strong signal, from up north. There's a group of people up there. They say they're all synthetic people, made by the Institute. They're trying to build a place for their kind.
Well, since Nick interrupted the whole dialogue, this place where synthetic people lives in is called Far Harbor, and the only way to get there is by traveling in a boat. So with that clue, we go straight to the parents, talk to the father, telling the whereabouts of their daughter, so they give us permission to hop on the boat and travel to Far Harbor. So, travel to Far Harbor. Oh shit, the physics are broken here. What the hell, bro? There it is, Far Harbor. And here is where the DLC really starts. Right at the entrance of Far Harbor, when we dock the boat, there are already two people waiting for us. One is Captain Avery, the leader of Far Harbor. And the other one is an asshole called Alien, who tell me to go away right at my face. And I mean, who the hell this guy think he is? I could probably destroy the entire town with one bullet of my fat big ass gun, and he won't probably notice. God damn, bro. You know, I'ma teach you a lesson, motherfucker. You never run your mouth at me like that. You never run your mouth at me like that! Well, either way, by dialogue with Captain Avery, she asks her our business on the island, and we basically tell her that we're looking for Kasumi, who's lost. And during the conversation, we are interrupted by the town being under an attack. So Avery asks her to help them defend the town first, then we can get more information about Kasumi. So we head straight to the town gates and fight against a wave of gulpers. We got a legendary gulper herself. Kill those damn gulpers! What the hell is that? Anglers! And with no problems, I decimate the entire wave of monsters. Then I go back to business with Avery. She explained to us that the island suffer from a phenomenon called the fog, which is basically a radioactive fog that runs across the entire island, making it impossible for the people to wander around the island without a machine that repels the entire fog. Also, the fog is the cause of all the monstrosities present on the island, such as the gulpers and the anglers. Then she tells us about a faction that lives in the island called the Children of Adam, a group of people that praises the power of Adam. In other words, radiation. And I think it's the same group present in Fallout 3. Well, anyway, apparently the people from Far Harbor, this little town we just helped defending, don't really like the Children of Adam, and specifically Alan, the asshole, is constantly giving the idea of attacking the children because he thinks that the children are the real cause of the fog. And also when we asked more about Kasumi to Avery, she tells us that Kasumi headed to a place called Acadia, the Synth Refuge, and together we're gonna have to be guided by a man named Old Longfellow, who we can meet at the town's bar. But before I actually continue the quest, Avery asked me to help the citizens of Far Harbor, and since I'm a person that likes side quests and XP, I thought, well, why not? But before anything, it's time to show you guys why I wanted to play the big guns build. All I need to do here was go straight to the weapons merchant of the town, who unfortunately is Alan the asshole, and after a hot dialogue with me trying to insult him in every way possible,
You're a real ungrateful ass.
he decided to give me a special discount to the shop. He made everything basically expensive. So here I buy the best weapon of the entire game, the Admiral's Friend. This is a harpoon gun which shoots harpoons that were supposed to hunt whales, and it has this beautiful legendary perk where it deals double damage if the target is at full health. And there is no better way to build this weapon than by helping the citizens of Far Harbor. So let's start with Cassie. She's basically the last one alive of her rich family, the Daltons, and she asks us to avenge her entire family who were killed one by one by the island. It started with her cousin Pete. Pete was a fool who was killed by a ghoul, so we basically have to avenge the cousin by killing all the ghouls in the area where he was killed. So with no problem, we go there, kill all the ghouls, and start the next quest. Next, I had to avenge her grandpa George.
Why, it broke my heart when I lost Grandpa George.
Get over it. Her grandpa was basically killed by a monster called the Frog Crawler, and that was the chance I needed to finally test my baby harpoon shooter. So yeah, I thought that maybe I could one-shot the Frog Crawler. There it is, the Frog Crawler. Hey motherfucker, you fucking dead. Oh shit! But unfortunately it was not enough. Maybe if I got the perk at level 5, but since I was not in the required level for that, I couldn't do nothing about it. At least it was almost, you know. So I went back to Cassie, took my reward, and it was time to avenge her husband, Daniel, who was killed by trappers. So once again, with no problems, I went to the trappers camp and exterminated the entire camp. It's time for the purging. There is anybody home? There's no one anymore. Ah, throwing grenades at me. That's how it's gonna be, bro. Yo, hello. Your business in shady sense might be. Knock, knock. Oh, this. In the middle way, I managed to get myself killed. Y'all can take this, trappers. Boom. Goddamn, bro. Exterminate another trapper's settlement. Hello, everybody. You good there? And confront a Mirelurk Queen. Oh shit! A Mirelurk Queen! I'm gonna need something special for this. God damn, what the fuck, bro? Also, I discovered the best thing about the harpoon gun. That is, you can basically stick someone's head in a wall with a gun. Hello, y'all. Look, right in the head. I'm not gonna miss the shit, look. Boom! Motherfucker. Damn! Yo, that's exactly why I love this weapon, look. And after avenging her husband in the most brutal way possible, I finally go back to Cassie, then she rewards me with her family's famous weapon, Blood Letter. Basically a giant fish hook. And then after helping a lot of the citizens, they offer me a test to become some sort of legend. But the story basically tells that once a guy submitted himself to a test of killing a Mirelurk Queen and a fog crawler, and after killing the monsters, he was actually titled the captain of Far Harbor. But on this case, they basically say that I won't be no captain, I'll just earn everybody's respect. And I mean, it was an interesting quest line, but to be honest, it would make more sense if you had like the respect system of New Vegas. But since we're talking about Fallout 4, well, I mean, I still completed the mission, killed the Mirelurk Queen, and they gave me a legendary hat, a captain's hat. It was kinda cool, but I was hoping for something more. Okay. And with that, I had almost completed all the quest lines from Far Harbor citizens. There was only one left, of which I will explain later since I completed later in the game. So now it was finally the time to meet Ong Longfellow and make my way to Acadia. And the interesting thing is that Ong Longfellow is a possible companion on the game. But since I wanted to make this entire DLC playthrough with Nick, since he has some special dialogues in the DLC, I just asked for Longfellow to help me get to Acadia and never talk to him again. Well, on the midway to Acadia, we come across with one of the children of Adam. And by her luck, you can tell that this faction is crazy as hell, bro. She tries to convert her into becoming one of the children of Adam, and I accept. Cause, yes.
Okay. Sign me up.
Excellent. Head to the nucleus. There, Adam's plans for you will be revealed.
Why not? I mean, but still I made my way to Acadia. There we say goodbye to Longfellow and meet with the synth leaders who came straight from a horror movie. Cause what in the 9 Pinhead's prototype this shit is? I mean, what the fuck? Look at this shit, bro. It's so creepy and scary. Well, whatever. So this synth is called Dima, and he is the leader of the synth's refuge. We ask him about Kasumi's. Then he tells us that Kasumi is at the synth's refuge, completely safe and unharmed. But also he makes a weird question about Kasumi.
Tell me, do you think Kasumi is a synth?
Yeah, by judging everything that is happening and the last holotape about Kasumi's dreams, I guess she's a synth, so I just agreed with him. Then he asks if I am a synth, and hell no, I ain't no synth. Cause boy, I am so fucking sure that I was born way before you existed. So no, I ain't no synth and the shit. Now something very interesting in this dialogue is that at some point Nick interferes with Dima's speech, and then Dima looks at Nick, recognizing Nick somehow. And when we ask Dimas about why did he recognize Nick, he basically says that Nick and Dimas were created on the same day.
Let me tell you what I know, and you can judge for yourself. We were prototypes, Nick. The first synths capable of independent thinking and judgment.
Keep talking.
One of the Institute's experiments had to do with how our brains could process personality. If we could handle individualized feelings and behaviors, I was allowed to develop mine based on experience. But with you, they wanted to try transferring an entire personality into you. It took several attempts before the personality imprint worked. I saw you wake up not knowing who or what you were so many times. I couldn't let them do it to you anymore. We were the only 2 prototypes they made. I literally saw myself In you were my brother, Nick. I helped you escape the Institute. We left together.
If I were your brother, I'd remember.
That's where you'd be wrong. This happened over a century ago. There's only so much memory that can fit into the prototype brains we have.
I've heard enough.
Well, after dialoguing with Demas, we get the quest line where we need to help the citizens of Acadia. And, well, I mean, I helped them all, but none side quests were interesting enough, so I won't put any of it in this video. I literally just made it for the XP, you know. So then I finally talked to Kasumi. She seems pretty much convinced that she's a synth. And I mean, it's not my job to make her know if she is or not a synth. My job is to investigate what the hell is going on and bring her back to her parents. So I just keep the conversation going until she mentions about one day having to repair one of Dima's data memories, because like she explained to us that Dima likes to store part of his memories into all of the computers around the laboratory. And when she actually started repairing one of the computers, she saw some Dima's memory about a nuclear explosion and probably the origin of the fog. So with that, she tells us that she became pretty much suspicious about Dima's action and asked me to investigate that part of Dima's. So she tells me that Dima's every day have a reunion with some of the synths in an isolated room in the lab, and that I have the choice to confront Dima itself by asking what the hell those memory means, or I could hide myself and listen to the whole reunion. And I choose to hide because it seems more interesting.
We need to accomplish this without bloodshed. Far Harbor and the children of Adam have a right to exist on this island, the same as us.
They're going to kill each other, Dima. There's no stopping it. We need to pick a side now.
Haven't we already picked a side? Building the fog condensers around Far Harbor wasn't exactly a neutral act.
We couldn't stand by and let the people of this island die to the fog.
Just like you couldn't just leave the Cult of Adam without a home? Giving them the submarine base was a mistake. The nucleus, as they're calling it, is basically one big fortified position.
Far Harbor had cast them out. They have strange beliefs, but they have always accepted us for what we are. And Confessor Martin was a friend.
Well, the new Confessor isn't. High Confessor Tectus is an unstable megalomaniac, and he's gonna keep threatening us as long as we're helping Far Harbor.
Guys, can we talk about the elephant in the room? We keep dancing around it.
My old memory banks in the submarine base.
I can't believe you never told me about those. I have to wait until they become a security risk.
I know how it looks in hindsight, but at the time, it was an act of trust. I was honestly more worried they'd accidentally trip the pre-war security and get hurt, giving the children my old home, allowing them to safeguard my old memories. I thought our people would be working together.
Just how secure are the banks? How long do we have? And what's in them?
I've gone over this before, Chase. I don't know what's in them. That's how it works. It's as close to forgetting something as I have, but I've run some projections of worst-case scenarios. If we do nothing and the wrong knowledge falls in the wrong hands...
So send me over there. I'll be in and out in a day.
We can't risk it. They know you're from Acadia. If you're caught, or even seen, then it's war.
We should at least prepare her to go in. We're running out of options. I say we tell her how to crack into the memory banks.
You've been working on this without me?
It came up in a private moment, Chase. But yes, we've been writing a program that will let you access and download my memories. It's not going to be like a normal hack. You'll be breaking through a version of my own mental network. It'll consider you to be an intruder. I've loaded the program with some instructions I've recorded that will help guide you through it. I'm afraid it's difficult to explain without seeing it for yourself.
I'm finishing up some tweaks to the program right now. I'll leave a copy of it for you on my desk when I'm done.
Get the program, use it to break into the memory banks. Got it.
Hopefully you won't have to. We'll keep monitoring the situation. I only want you going in if we have no other choice.
Well, after all that talking, guess who's really going to Children of Adam and steal all the data program? So either way, after listening to all of this, I still had to confront Demon. He basically says the same thing he said in the reunion and tell me to not start a conflict against the Children of Adam. And also say that I am the perfect bait for this shit cause I'm an outsider and none of them knows me. And well, consider that back then, on my way to Acadia, I met one of the Children of Adam's members. I'm basically also a member of the group. So yeah, I informed Kasumi about what I just discovered and my plan of invading Children of Adam. And then before I make my way to their base, remember the quest I said I'll explain more about it later? Well, that's the time when I decided to make the quest, okay? So going back to Far Harbor, the shipwreck tells me about a tale of a monster called the Red Death.
The Red Death. May have heard of it. The big monster lives beneath the waves. Only strikes when the fog is thick. People think it's some drunken sailor's tale. But no one goes sailing when there's a fog on. In their bones, they know there's something out there.
So yeah, after hearing all the story, I got so excited to meet what I thought to be a big boss. And I mean, everything told me so. Like, first, to get to the Red Death location, I had to hop on the boat. Second, before hopping on the boat, Captain Avery actually warned us about the dangers of facing the Red Death and told us not to go. But just like I said before, I want to become the fucking legend of Far Harbor. So I hopped on the boat and made my way straight to the place. And yeah, when I finally get in the isolated island, there I meet the so feared Red Death.
That's the Red Death?
Ha! God damn, the Red Death's a little Mylark. Well,
Think we can handle it? We could always call in the Marines.
Oh, ha ha.
I kind of know that this was supposed to be some kind of a joke, but really, such a disappointment and loss of potential here. Like, they could have made a badass boss fight, maybe in a boat, where you shoot the harpoons on a goddamn giant Mirelurk in the ocean. Or I don't know, just a boss fight, you know what I mean? Like, something really worth of all the efforts you put into that little town, bro. Like, god damn it, this is a disappointment, bro. Like, I really I am laughing, but it's not because it's funny, it's because it's so disappointing, bro. God damn it, bro. Like, what the hell, Bethesda? Well, just like me, the shipwreck also becomes disappointed. Then she asked me to go back to the dock and lie about the Red Death to the others. But since I ain't no liar, I just gonna tell the truth. I mean, I'm already entirely respect the town, so the bad reputation is gonna go towards her. So I don't really care. I'm just a detective who came here to find a missing person, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we go back there, tell the entire town about the news, and then they start making fun of the shipwreck. And like I said, I don't care. So then we finally head to the last civilization of the island, the Children of Adam. And right at the gate, we are stopped by some of the guards who tell us that to be able to become one of the Children of Adam, we need to prove ourselves worthy by drinking from a spring. And oh god, that doesn't sound good, but okay. I go to the spring, and right at the moment that I look at the spring, I can already see that it's not gonna be a good idea. But well, for the Adam, right? So I drink the water and start living in the Alice's cracklands. Well, after getting stoned to hell, bro, I start following a figure until a place where I unlock some kind of terminal that leads me to a room with a mother icon on a table. Well, I grab the icon, go back to the nucleus, and there I tell the guard about all the experience I just lived and how stoned I just get from the shit, and about the figure and the mother icon. Then he becomes surprised, saying that I was seeing the mother, something that not everybody sees on the Children of Adam apparently. I guess that not everybody was as high as I was, but either way, he let me go inside of the nucleus, and there we can already see the people praising the Confessor Tectus, who Dima and the Siths were talking about. And I go straight to his place and talk to him. Firstly, I try to convince Tectus of bringing peace with Far Harbor, but he doesn't seem to accept it. He states that he already tried to make peace with Far Harbor, but they will never accept the religious ideal. Well, at least I tried. Then I ask him if I can try to recover Dima's memory, and surprisingly he doesn't seem bothered at all. But he also asked me to help some of the members. But since I really wanted to access those memories, I went straight to it. So we face a bunch of robots and turrets, and I still remember my first playthrough having a hard time with this particular assault that appears when we restore the place energy. But I guess that no one could take the legend Clayton wearing a damn Enclave X2 power armor, right? So after all the extermination I had with the place, it was finally time to access Dima's memory, and I was really excited for it. I mean, what will I fight against? What type of boss will come to me? I don't know who decided to put this shitty stage in this game, but I swear to God that the guy who had such an imbecile idea should be completely punished by all the means necessary. Cause really, this is the worst thing to have ever appeared in the Fallout game. It completely breaks any type of immersion you were having with the DLC. It's fucking far away from the whole proposition, and even so it was supposed to be a synthetic memory, it is so fucking badly made. Like in the memory, as you can see, you have to guide those little bugs to that shiny circle right there, and basically to do that you have to resolve some puzzles to create a path to them, and also defending the bugs from these little red balls. Now I must say that this entire stage looked like a fucking early development game where they still could barely complete the textures, and the puzzles are so ridiculously easy, but it takes forever to complete one stage since these bugs move like some fucking slugs. And I mean, Turbo the slug from the shitty race movie is faster than this fucking Beatles prototype. And to make it worse, we are in a Bethesda game, so obviously at some point those bugs will decide to not move at all. And I swear to God that I spent almost 5 minutes of my pity life in one stage, and it was not because I had problems over the puzzle, but because the bugs took forever to fucking move. Oh my fucking God, really, this is the worst idea I've ever seen in a game, bro. Well, to not talk entirely bad about this part of the game, it unlocks an audio of a specific Dima's memory. So the first memory is Dima saying about the people of Far Harbor not entirely accepting the synths, which makes Dima feel obligated to do something about it, hiding the evidences afterwards.
Things are not going well with Far Harbor. Several of my people have been assaulted, spat at, interrogated for no reason. This is getting out of control. But there's still a chance they can learn to trust us. We just need one of their own who's on our side. I can't let anyone know what I'm about to do. I'll need to set up the equipment far away from Acadia. It'll double as a place to bury the evidence.
And with that we receive the coordinates to the so-called evidence. The second memory, Dima talk about hiding a launch key which activates a nuclear missile inside the Children of Atom submarine base.
I'm offloading this memory. I cannot bear lying to Confessor Martin and his Children of Atom any longer. Better to just forget. I found it. The location of the launch key to fire the nuclear missile inside the submarine. Confessor Martin believes it can bring his people into division, destruction at the hands of an atomic blast. He struggles with how literal his interpretation of that precept should be. I can't risk him deciding to find the key and use it. His people were the first to accept me for what I am. The thought of them being gone fills me with nothing but pain.
The third memory, Dima reveals a plan of destroying Far Harbor in case they find out about the evidence.
I've made a contingency plan in case Far Harbor discovers the truth or gives in to their xenophobia despite all my efforts. I've isolated the wind turbine powering Far Harbor's fog condensers. A kill switch command will leave them defenseless from the fog and its creatures. But now that it's done, am I really capable of this? This massacre that I've engineered? I'm going to remove the command code from my memories. I'll bury a hard copy if I need to use it, but I can't keep it close to me. It makes me sick.
The fourth memory is apparently the dialogue of Dima and Nick while they flee the Institute, which is kinda interesting.
Get away from me! What the hell are you?
It's me. We escaped the Institute together. You're my brother.
I don't have a brother. The name's Nick Valentine, and no one in my family tree is a plastic-skinned freak.
You're just confused. Let me help.
Stay away from me! I don't want to hurt you!
Goodbye, brother.
And the last memory, I'll be talking more about it later. So with all the memories, you can go to the respective locations marked on the map, grab the launch key for the submarine, and then go find out what's Dima's evidence. So we face a bunch of super mutants, get in a room with a grave, that by digging it, we can see a corpse and a holotape alongside.
Is it going to be painful?
Yes. It's going to be like having everything you are ripped out and replaced with something else. Someone else.
Final core programming parameters. Archived for logistical and ethical consideration.
I'm ready. I wish I could say goodbye to everyone.
No one else can know. This isn't just about infiltrating Far Harbor. It's about becoming the human that synths drawn here need to meet, reasonable, willing to accept them as just another living thing, no greater or lesser than humanity itself. You'll be part of the bridge between our two worlds. That all vanishes the moment anyone discovers that it's been manufactured, that you're a synth.
Did she have to die? The woman I'm replacing? God, she looks so peaceful lying there.
Don't. Please. That blood is on my hands, not yours.
So to establish peace between the synths and Far Harbor, Dima killed Captain Avery, replacing her with one of his synths. And now I could choose one of 4 endings. I could tell Dima's secrets to Far Harbor, possibly creating a revolution against Acadia. I could destroy Far Harbor with the switch told by Dima's memory. I could destroy the nucleus with the launch key, or the ending that I actually chose, which is confronting Dimas about his secret. And by doing so, Dima states that we should not reveal the truth, since it could result into a rebellion of Far Harbor against Acadia and the children of Adam. And without Acadia, the foggy condensers will perish. So it will basically be the end of the island's civilization. Then Dima gives us a plan to replace children of Adam confessor Tectus with one of his synths who could manipulate the children to make peace with Far Harbor. And well, let's go then. Confessor Tectus apparently killed the last confessor because he completely disagreed with his lead, forcing himself to become the next confessor. So Dimas recreates the last confessor voice, stating that he's alive and will come back for Tectus. And since we earned respect from Tectus, we delivered the message directly to him, created the perfect debate to lure Tectus into an isolated place, so in that way we could discuss a way to kill the last confessor. And I mean, we actually are gonna kill Tectus. Well, this. So after killing him, I hide his body, inform Dima, and with that he sent the new confessor Tectus to the nucleus, bringing peace to all the factions, finishing the DLC. Oh yeah, actually we did not finish. We have to bring the girl back home, right? So after all that shit, we tell Kasumi about everything that just happened, and she still seems unsure of what exactly she is. So I just tell her to be Acadia because I am fucking tired of all that bullshit. Then I go to her father and deliver the news that her daughter won't come back home. And he still gives me a legendary laser rifle, so I mean, it doesn't matter after all. Alright, so now with that ending, I can talk more about my thoughts of the story. And to be honest, it started kinda well. Like, I still remember my first playthrough, think that the whole DLC will be some kind of investigative detective playthrough, where you had to like collect some clues throughout the scenarios, and that way be constantly building your way to her whereabouts. But as soon as we get in Far Harbor, the town itself becomes way more interested than Kasumi's whereabouts, and I can say for sure that Far Harbor side quests were the best when it comes to stories. Like, I really wanted to avenge the Dalton's family, or help the shipwreck establish a better place to the citizens, also help the bartender get his uncle back in town, or you know, proving myself to be worthy of becoming the legend of Far Harbor. And I won't talk about the Red Death side quest, cause I already said that it was such a disappointment for me. They could have made such a badass fight. I mean, so many ways. I literally think that they could have just put a combat system to the boat, where, I don't know, a giant Mirelurk emerges from the sea, and you use a harpoon shooter to be trying to kill it. But come on, anything could be better than that shitty Red Death. And yeah, in some kind of way it was funny, but man, fuck yeah. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But as you keep proceeding throughout the investigation of Kasumi's whereabouts, to be honest, her story itself becomes the least interesting thing of the entire island. And like, right at the moment that you meet Dima, you start to get more curious about the origin of the fog, the conflicts between the factions of the island, and also the hidden secrets about Dima's origin. And in case you're playing with Nick as a companion, why does he know Nick so much? And all those mystery keeps you engaged with the whole DLC, make you be constantly doubting if Dimas is actually a good or a bad guy. And I mean, even when you discover the entire truth, you still can find find yourself confused of which is the actual best ending for the entire island. Cause to be honest, in my opinion, none of the endings were actually good or bad, with each one having their own good point but also a downside. For example, Dima's end, the end that I chose, seems to be the best one, since it will bring peace to the entire island. But I mean, how long is it gonna take until another person like Tectus appears again, take on the entire Children of Adams, and restart their whole rebellion against Far Harbor and Acadia? And also, if you go to Far Harbor side, how long is it gonna take to Avery be discovered and Alan, the asshole, also decide to start his own revolution? Cause I mean, you'd be too naive of Dima's thinking that they will not find out at some point. And I think that that is such an interesting thought to be thinking about, that Bethesda could actually be taking chances of putting this maybe as an Easter egg on the show, where it shows Far Harbor in the future, or I don't know, maybe showing something Fallout 5 if it is gonna take place on the same location as Fallout 4. And to be honest, for me the best option here was to blast the whole nucleus, which was actually the ending I chose when I first played. Cause come on, the Children of Adam? These motherfuckers are fucking crazy, bro. They need to be exterminated from the earth, bro. And I remember that with that ending, demons become very upset at us, telling us to leave Far Harbor forever. Or we could destroy Far Harbor, which also is not the best option, since they are like the people we can relate the most. It would be kinda cruel, right? And just like Dima said, if we reveal his secret to Far Harbor, they will try to create a war against Acadia, and afterwards destroying the whole Children of Adam's base. And with no one to repair the fog condenser, Far Harbor will also meet their own end, resulting on the island being only inhabited by the creatures that lurks the island already. So yeah, I kind of like the way that the story makes you think about what will be the best option for you. Cause really, at the end, it's not the best option for the island, but it's actually the best option for you. But obviously the story has its own flaws. For example, Kasumi is basically the main quest of the entire DLC, but she quickly becomes quite obsolete after arriving at Acadia. They also tries to introduce us that whole Nyx and Dima's relationship, but the DLC actually doesn't try to keep that going on, as it just stopped talking about it at some point. Like the last time that you hear anything about both relationship is in Dima's memory. And I mean, I wish they could have put at least a deeper conversation between Dimas and Nick. But well, I can do nothing about it, right? And one last thing that I'd like to talk about is one of Children of Adam's side quests, which is a side quest where you have to repair the water system of the nucleus, and the game will give you the choice to repair it normally with the water running on radiation, or install a purifier which will make the water of the nucleus run clear. But when I played, I chose the purification option, but nothing changed. I guess it just gave me some extra XP for completing the quest in that way, but nothing more than that. Now, changing the subject to a more analytic view of the DLC, I would like to start talking about the environment, which is something that I pretty much enjoyed in this DLC. Like when you get to Far Harbor and they start talking about the fog phenomenon to you and how dangerous it is, having a place called the Deep Fog where nobody survives to it, I thought that it really brought some sort of horror, mysterious vibe to the entire playthrough. And I even found myself kinda scared some of the time with the whole ambience. And I like how they changed the whole scenario of Fallout Wasteland to basically a wetland. But unfortunately, I think that they could have explored more the water feature in this DLC, since like they even put an armor to that kind of feature, which I will talk more about it later. But again, another loss of opportunity here. Well, regardless, I still think that the whole scenario is kinda unique when it comes to what we have already seen in the Fallout series. And you can already tell that just by the design of Far Harbor's town, where the citizens without having any other place to run from the fog, they chose what seems to be the best option: establish their homes at the edge of the island. Cause I'm kinda suspicious to be talking about, since I'm a big fan of this, I'll call it harboring theme, or sailing, or I don't know, anything that relates to ocean. But like by far, Far Harbor, for me at least in terms of designing, and also story actually, was the best settlement of the DLC, with the worst one being obviously Acadia, since Acadia is just oddly similar to any other laboratory in Fallout 4. Well, on the other side, the nucleus was also intriguingly unique to me, because it's basically a place where the craziness of those people who resides in it is entirely described by the look itself. I mean, the whole yellow scenario representing the great amount of radiation present in the place, alongside the people being completely disfigured by the amount of radiation present on their body, really represents the ideal of the religion itself. itself. And I still think that the whole ambience of Far Harbor was somehow inspired by the whole Lovecraftian thing. Because not only the environment reminds me of it, but also the creatures present in Far Harbor, which although they did not add so much creatures to the game, I still think they were kind of unique. They even added one of the creatures into the TV show, the Gulper, which for me is the best creature of the entire DLC, because I think he fits perfectly into the whole proposition of Far Harbor. I mean, a mutated salamander who is both affected by the radiation and the fog phenomenon, it is pretty much amazing to me. I mean, I wish I could have a Gulper as a pet in my house, bro. Like that shit even hung on trees. It's a giant salamander who hung on trees. And I like the fact that every single unique creature of Far Harbor, they don't have that whole governmental experiment shit on their lore, but they are just normal animals who were mutated by the fog effect or the radiation effect, such as the fog crawler, which is probably the most Lovecraftian thing found in the DLC. And I kind of like the horror stories they built around the fog crawler on the DLC. Like, I remember on my first playthrough being completely feared and scared of meeting a frog crawler for the first time. And like, we also have the angler who can catch you by surprise if you don't fucking spam the vet system every damn time in a minute, cause holy god, these motherfuckers so well hidden on the lakes and swamps of the game. Like, there was this one time on this playthrough where I was actually terrified by one of these anglers who was lurking around me on the lake. And yeah, like I said, although the quantity of new creatures added to the DLC is kinda low, I think it was enough actually, cause at least for me, one of the most important feature in a game is the design of the creatures or the enemies. And it's incredible how a lot of the developers just try to always create a generic enemy to their games, when come on, enemies are one of the things that you remember the most when it comes to a video game. Now, going straight to all the new clothes and weapons and armor that the game brings us, to be honest, when it comes to weapon, none of them actually called my attention except for the harpoon gun, of which I already said before, but is the best weapon of the Fallout 4 itself for me. And especially Admiral's friend, which is the one with the modifier of double damage at full health, just brought me so much satisfaction during the playthrough. Like, one of my pleasures was to one-shot the enemies and hang their heads on the wall, bro. Like, that's just fucking hilarious, I mean. Now, going for the rifle and the Radiant rifle, to be honest, I don't really remember of any of them. I know that I used Radiant rifle of one of my campaigns, but I think it just felt like, I don't know, it wasn't meant for me, you know. Now, the clothes and the armors, when it comes to the clothes itself, I like that they put a lot of harbor and theme in the clothes. And part of that you can obtain by completing most part of the side quest in Far Harbor citizens, such as the captain's hat or the legend's suit. But just like I mentioned before, the one armor or suit that made me really intrigued with the whole thing is the diver suit. Because I mean, to start off, this is a suit that you obtain by completing all the quests on Far Harbor. The Captain Avery, as a thanks for your help, will give you the diver suit. God damn, it's a whole diving suit. Look at me. Fucking big daddy nautilus shit. Now, it says what it is. Like, it's a diver suit. You can breathe underwater and you do not take that much damage for the radiation, but honestly, it doesn't really serve a lot of purpose, except for, I don't know if y'all still remember when I said that I was gonna talk about the last Dimas memory afterward. Well, this is the time. So the fifth memory of Dimas is he basically remember the location of a marine armor, and the pieces of the armor are spread across the ocean around the island. And the only way that you can access these pieces is by diving into the sea, or if you are a psychopath like me who put perk points into Aqua Boy, you can do it totally without the suit. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wear this diver suit, or I guess you can wear a hazmat suit, cause really the breathing in Fallout is not really that short. You can breathe a long time under the water. But just like I said before, the diver suit has only this one purpose in this game, and I still think that they could have put, like, it could be a secret dungeon underwater. I don't know, they could have put another little spear weapon so that you could face some enemies underwater. But you're thinking more about it, I don't think anybody will like that, because I feel like I'm one of those few people who likes aquatic stages on video games. I don't know, I just feel mesmerized by it, but okay. After gathering other pieces, you're gonna unlock yourself the marine armor or the marine suit. usable by those who makes a build based on sneaking. And I think that the Marine suit is the best armor in the game when it comes to design. I mean, look at this. It's fucking awesome, bro. And with that being said, I think that I can talk about some of the flaws with the DLC. One of them is basically the same flaw of Fallout 4 itself, the lack of dialogue. I don't really think I have that much thing to say. Also, another flaw that I see is it would be so much better if they had the respected system on the towns, just like Fallout New Vegas, where like by helping Far Harbor, for example, the children of Eden be mad at you, making it even easier for you to choose which ending will be the best. Also, just like I mentioned back there, the flaws on the Nick's past story, which just like I said, they make it a thing but just forget about it later. And another thing is the whole Kasumi whereabouts quest. You start by going for the objective of finding Kasumi and investigating what the hell happened to her, but that ends pretty quickly. And one specific flaw for me in this whole DLC is that I think that maybe, instead of trying to focus on the whole scene thing, they could have made a total original story, completely relying on the mystery of the fog itself. Because like right at the beginning when you start asking Avery about the fog, they just give you the clue that the fog is something that appeared and became pretty much stronger after the appearance of Children of Adam. But that's it. Like, they don't never talk about the fog anymore like that deeply. And you end the DLC without knowing what is causing the fog to increase that much. So like I said, I think that instead of putting the Synths as a faction on the DLC itself, they could have been in Far Harbor as hidden people, and that would be some kind of a secret mission to the whole game, like resolving the whole thing with the Synths. And instead of the whole Acadia and Synth secret storyline, you keep the Kasumi's investigation storyline, but right at the moment that you question Captain Avery about the whereabouts of Kasumi, she just tell you that she got lost in the fog. I don't know, in my mind it makes so much sense to be like that. You'll be the perfect chance to create an actual horror investigation DLC of Fallout. And like, you could keep the Children of Adam, take out Acadia, and replace Acadia with maybe the Trappers faction, because like the Trappers, they are a thing in this DLC. Like, they're basically the raiders but of the island, and they could become basically another faction, and maybe that way you could establish a whole new story where you really have to pick a side to go for it. But I don't know, man. I'm not saying that Demon's story is not great. It was great, you know, the secrets and the things were great, you know, but I still have the feeling that it could be something more. It could turn the DLC into something way more interesting than what it actually is. But I still prefer way more to play Far Harbor than to try to find Shaun, bro. Well, but those were my final thoughts about the DLC. Just like I said, it went better than I expected, but it could be better, you know. So comment if you played Far Harbor, if you liked the DLC or not. Thank you for watching this long video. Subscribe to the channel, help me out, because really this shit was long as fuck, bro. If you want more content about Fallout from me, watch this video about Fallout 1, and once again, until someday.